Ashwin Mohan caught up with Ajay Piramal, chairman at Piramal Enterprises, and in a freewheeling chat, the head honcho breaks his silence on the mega Lafarge deal, the FDI policy in the pharma segment, and the conglomerates' demerger plans, and much more.
Cement sector, there is a transaction which is there going on, which is Lafarge is selling its business in India. We, not through Piramal Enterprises, but in our private capacity. So we are looking at it. We believe that the cement sector has gone through a difficult time. But if India's growth story has to really play out, then the cement is a critical area to be in. And also it's one of those areas where imports are very difficult to do. So, today there are many commodities where you find that it's with imports, the price is under pressure. I don't think in the long run that happens with cement. And very often cement is not a commodity, it could be a branded play. So that's why we are looking at it, and let's see what happens.
You have fingers in many pies. But since it's such a complex conglomerate, I'm pretty sure you would want to make it leaner and meaner. So what are your plans in that direction?
So as far as you're right that it is complex, the conglomerate, and so therefore we are trying to simplify it. We've said in the next 12 to 24 months you will find that we will split Piramal Enterprises into two different entities. One will be the financial services space, and the other will be where we will have mainly the pharma and information management. So we will do that, yeah.
What would be the benefits of such a split, sir? And how would it lead to better synergies?
So the benefits really will be that it, first of all, makes it simpler. It also makes it targeted, that those people who want to invest, let's say in pharma, healthcare, they can invest in that. There are some others who prefer investing in just financial services, so they have a choice to do that. So what we'll do is that we are still thinking about it, is that today's shares, if you hold one share of Piramal Enterprises, ultimately you will hold in the same proportion as you do today, two shares, one in the healthcare and pharmaceuticals and the other in the financial services space.
Your views on the entire reform agenda of the Modi government. They came to power with a lot of promise. They came to power with an intent to boost growth. Are you satisfied with the pace of reforms in the last 2 years?
I think I am satisfied with the pace of reforms. If you see, there's a lot that has been done in every sphere. The first and the most important, I think, is that the corruption at the top has been totally eliminated, which is a big thing today. I think decisions are being made today on the basis of what is sound economic policy. And I look at every other area. So look at what's happened in the power sector, for instance. There's so much more transparency. Or wherever natural resources are involved and government has to give in, now it's clear whether it's spectrum, whether it's mining, any natural resource has to be transparently auctioned up. Look at the progress that's taking place in the roads and in the highways. I mean, the construction has gone up. A lot of things that were being stuck for flimsy reasons have been removed.
What about crony capitalism, sir? That was something that was associated with the previous government. There was also the entire concept of so-called tax terrorism. Do you think the Modi regime has done enough to bury those ghosts at least?
They have buried those ghosts. Surely there's no now crony capitalism. There was also a talk at once Modi came in that certain groups will be favored to the advantage of the others. But if you see, and I remember reading a report that if you look at the shares of the so-called people who are close to Modi, I mean, their shares have performed worse than many other companies. So there is no crony capitalism today as I see it. And I see that also percolating in the states. Because of the example which has been set up in the center, the states as well have now become much more transparent and cleaner than before.
So fairly optimistic outlook, but are there any blips on the radar, any aspects where you think the government has perhaps missed out in the last 2 years? If you look at the GST, unfortunately due to lack of political consensus, the logjam still exists. Any other aspects which you would like to highlight where you would have expected the government to move a little faster maybe?
Probably the government could have speeded up public expenditure 6 to 12 months before that they did, because even now I find that the capital expenditure is not enough. And it needs, in an environment like this, it needs the government to start the spending. And that's when even private sector expenditure would start. So that, I guess, could have been a bit earlier. I'm of the view as well that interest rates should have been a bit softer than what they are.
So let's also speak about the kind of activity that's going on as far as the US FDA is concerned. There have been several companies that have come under the lens of the US FDA for irregular manufacturing activities, and certain cases there is also a question mark as far as data integrity is concerned. How do you look at it as a player in this space and as an important stakeholder? Do you perhaps think that the regulator is being overtly aggressive?
So we have plants which are inspected by the FDA in India, several plants. We have plants in Europe being inspected by the FDA, as well as in North America, and both US as well as Canada. Frankly, I find that everywhere the standard of the FDA has gone up, their requirements of quality have gone up. So to say that they are being unduly harsh over India would not be a fair comment to make. And even in this space, I think in the last 12 months, we've had about 10 FDA inspections. And I'm happy to say that in every inspection, we've passed with flying colors. So we've not had 483s, we've not had, forget about warnings and all, that's a far cry.
All right. Now, since we are on the subject of pharma, let me also speak to you about the recent steps taken by the Modi government to liberalize or open up the pharma sector. If you look at what's been done, it's been decided to permit up to 74% FDI under automatic route in brownfield pharmaceuticals, and government approval beyond 74% will continue. How big a push do you think this is for the pharma sector, sir?
So if you think about it, till almost 2011, if I'm not mistaken, actually 100% FDI was allowed in the pharma and brownfield.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.